Not long ago, Lii-Song sent me a pair of these AL-4 bookshelves, and they sound really good, but they had a big problem. Every time I would turn the volume up so that it would hit about 85 decibels in my room, they start to distort and collapse. So, kind of hard to recommend them, but Lii-Song got to work after my video, and they changed the driver. So you know what? They sent me the new ones. Let me pop them in, see if they fix the problem. Okay, well, they fixed the problem. I get to push this now at like 92, 93 decibels in my room, and there's still bass. It's a bookshelf with a small driver. It is not going to pressurize your room with concert level bass and performance. That being said, I love how they sound. So the changes that they made are a new structure to the magnet. They improved the suspension and the voice coil for better elastic compliance. And this gives it better detail range, less chance of it distorting. Not only did they fix the breakup and the distortion at 85 dB, it was able to go up to 92, 93 dBs in my room. But I also notice in my listening bass lines from the old drivers with the new ones actually have a much better detail retrieval. So they're giving, I find, a little bit more textures to the voices thanks to better details in the highs. But those details in the highs are also being felt in the lower octaves. So in the mids and in the lows, you got really good textures. Like you really feel those strings of the guitars. You really get an idea for the wood and the body of a cello or a violin, as well as skins on drums. Yeah, these little speakers actually are surprising in the amount of bass that they give out. But this is not meant to play with every amplifier if you want to get the best out of them. If you're listening to casual sound in the background and all you have is run-of-the-mill Class D, or you have your old Macintosh that you had laying around in the garage, it'll work, it'll sound fine. But if you want to get a little bit of an immersive experience with $400 pair of speakers, they scale, surprisingly. So you could put them with quality amplification that I recommend between 10 and 25, 30 watts. You could go to 50. Try not to go much more over 50 if you want to keep that bass quality, texture, and detail. Because if you use amplification that is just too high in current and wattage, it's going to overwhelm them. As a matter of fact, if you really want more details and you want to nerd out in picking out an amplifier, low watts, Class A, single-ended. That is the trio I recommend with speakers like these.
Hi, could I get one of the compact Class A stereos, the little 2-watt model?
Absolutely. One small Class A amplifier. Anything else for you?
That's it, thanks.
Great. I'll meet you at the window.
You'll get really good top end, detailed, textured mid-range, and you're still going to get bass, which is actually surprising for a little speaker like this. Within context, these are $400. These are not going to outshine your friend's pair of $25,000 speakers. No, they're not going to do that. And if I had to say where things become more, I guess, obvious in terms of their price range, is when you evaluate the soundstage and the stereo imaging. So the center stereo image is really nice. The focus of whatever's in the center, generally it's the singer. That's always very nice and focused with these on just every track I've used. You do have some layering where you're going to feel like there's could be things behind the singer and maybe a little bit far past, but you're not going to get the super wraparound effect of the soundstage. You're not going to feel like you're in this fishbowl. But it's a nice presentation, all in front. It pretty much goes to the outer edges of the speakers. The speakers do disappear. It's not the ultimate disappearing act that you're really like, picking things out all around you, but that would be a fishbowl if you could. They get a little fuzzy on the edges of the soundstage. Okay, but that shouldn't be a deal breaker for anyone. You're talking about a $400 pair of speakers. So now that they've fixed these problems, I still have two little issues with these speakers. So before I get into those two little tiny details, let's have a look at today's sponsors.
Meet Brown Pants, the first personal vacuum that means you never have to hunt for a toilet again. Clip the copper nozzle, twist the dial, and whoosh, instant clean.
It's completely hands-free. I forget I'm even wearing it.
30 minutes of power.
Come on, admit it. You laughed a little bit. Okay, so what are the two issues? Well, the two issues are both located behind the speaker. Issue number one, issue number two. Have a look.
So here, it's already a pain in the butt that they're recessed this way, right? They're not at a different angle. So Lii-Song either change this angle so that points out a little bit more, or look at that right away, that are using direct ties. Okay, like on all speaker terminals, you will have a little hole here for the bare wire to go, or for these connectors to go. Problem is, when you install these, you screw them in underneath. And I guess I could remove this plate myself and fix it, but it's a pain in the butt. I don't want to have to do that when I buy speakers. Make sure that the hole that you're going to put your bare wire through is not facing sideways. Because right now here, for me to force this in here, I'm going to bend my connector and risk breaking it. Yeah, lovely.
So there you have it. That's the AL-4. So it's like 95, 97 dB sensitivity. And that high sensitivity, because there's full range driver, reminder, use low wattage amplifiers. And if you want to take the guesswork out of it, pick something that is between 3 and 30 watts. Class A, single-ended, should be good. Tubes, solid state, up to you. Make the choice. I prefer tubes. Some people prefer solid state. It's all good. Just keep the watts low. Keep it in Class A. And if you have any money left over after you've purchased your Brown Pants vacuum, and if this is the type of speaker that does interest you and you feel like supporting this channel at the same time, well, there's a little link down below in the description that if you purchase through that link, I get a little tiny kickback. Thank you all. Hit the like button if you like this. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. If you have any questions, just write them down in the comments. I try to get to most of them as much as I can. Thank you all. Have a good day.
Meet the Vinyl CD MP3 Player Pod, 3 formats, 1 pocket-sized marvel, a reel spinning mini vinyl, high-res DAC, and lossless CD and MP3 playback. It brings studio clarity